As a profession, we understand the dangers that are inherent in what we do on a day-to-day basis. You know, we put this uniform on and we go out and we stand for something bigger than ourselves. We're out, you know, setting an example for our families, for the men and women that we work with, but also for the public. So when incidents like this that occurred in Texas, that occurred outside of Chicago, and even down in Virginia, what have you, occur, it has a ripple effect through the entire profession, especially even here hundreds of miles away. How do we react? You know, number one, we're sad. I mean, we're human beings. You know, we have emotions. We may not wear them on our sleeve, but that doesn't mean that we don't have that capability of empathy and compassion for him and for his family, for his coworkers. Because having gone through a similar type incident like that back in 1996, where we lost a trooper here to a senseless act of violence, we understand how that plays out. And you know, the support systems have to be in place for those folks, because they also have to deal with this, and it can be a long and arduous process. One of the things that concern us, obviously, are people that are willing to do this. They're brazen. They have no moral compass. So when you walk up and you attack a uniformed, armed, and trained professional police officer, what does that say about the potential acts that these people are willing to do to other people who are not in that field, who are not armed, and who are not trained to protect themselves? You know, we constantly evaluate and reevaluate what it is that we're doing and how we're doing it. We know why we're doing it, but things and the dynamics of our society are constantly changing. We need to change and evolve with those. And so when incidents like this happen, we look at them constructively. We're not armchair quarterbacking. That's not what this is about. It's about taking the opportunity to learn from that misfortune. You know, is there something that we could do differently? And if it is, then we try to incorporate into our training, whether it's our control tactics, firearms, emergency vehicle operation, and those and even just interpersonal communication and interaction with the public. I don't know all the ins and outs of all these different incidents. I don't know what the dynamics and the background of these people involved are, but the one thing I do know is we live in a heavily medicated society. I mean, that goes without saying. And if you ever come to any of our drug take-back events, you'll see just the excess of medications that are out there. You know, unfortunately, these people just have a different mindset. And again, it's not just attacking police officers, it's attacking movie theaters, restaurants, shopping malls, and we've seen it all across schools, all across our country. So again, we try to train to be as proactive as we can, but it's impossible to prevent all of these. So when we do our Coffee with a Cop and we do our community outreach programs, we do those with the emphasis on hopefully touching a segment of the community that is willing to take that message and take it to another segment and then another segment. So we're hoping that it's a ripple effect. And, you know, above and beyond that, you know, we hope and pray for the best, but we go out every day and do our job as professionals the way that we're trained to do it. It takes a certain type of person. It takes a certain type of belief in a cause. And we know inherently that our people aren't being targeted because of who they are personally. They're being targeted because of what they are and what they represent, and that's authority, that's law, the law that we're sworn to uphold. And so again, we know that those are the risks inherent in what we do on a day-to-day basis. Whether we're driving from home to an office here at the post, or we're driving, you know, to a call, be it a domestic, to help change a flat tire, what have you, that danger is always there, and it's something that we accept and that we look to tackle head on, so that you, as a member of the general public, you don't have to worry about that. That's the emphasis or the impetus that we take upon ourselves. We have members of our upper echelon that go to these regional meetings and talk and share information with other agency heads, and we're learning, you know, some of the intricacies of what's really going on that the general public may not really know about, so that it helps us again with our training, again, whether it's control tactics, firearms, our driving. So, you know, at the end of the day, so that we're better prepared for what we're going to face out here, because what we're going to face out here is always unknown. Even on a traffic stop, that routine traffic stop they're never routine, you just never know. So we always have to be in the mindset that this could be the one, and go from there accordingly. I would caution the public to jump onto the bandwagon, given the rhetoric of what's going on around the nation right now. Again, not knowing all the ins and outs of those specific incidents, even with video footage, people have to realize that's two-dimensional. We don't know what's going on. You know, all we're seeing is what the media is showing in that 30-second clip based on time constraints. So unless we're actually there and we're seeing what's actually happening, how can we actually make a concrete assessment of what's really going on? Same thing with the things that you as a citizen post on YouTube and Facebook. It's two-dimensional. You only have one facet of the story. So, you know, we have been very fortunate here that we've received a lot of public support through the Coffee with a Cop, but also just in general. So we continue to try to build on that trust, on the favorable responses that we get, whether it's sitting down at lunch and having somebody come up to us, or we're pumping our gas, or even just taking a phone call or an email. You'd be surprised how many we actually get, especially when the negative things hit the airwaves. We constantly get an influx of, you guys are doing a great job, keep up what you're doing, because we know that that's an isolated incident. And so what people are seeing on TV, even though it's brandished 24/7, is a very, very minute percentage of what law enforcement is doing all across this great nation of ours. And I promise you, what we're doing is so much more and so much better than what's being portrayed in the media. And that's what we want people to understand, is that don't believe everything you hear and say, again, because it's a small facet of a bigger picture. So once you have that opportunity to sit back and see that for what it is, you know, certainly we live in a country, you make up your own mind. You do it. I'm not dissuading anybody from doing that. I'm just asking people to use caution, because we do too. You know, we see the same video reports that you do. We look at it through a different set of eyes because of our experiences.